The message was never meant for her. My hands were shaking, tears blurred my vision, and with one careless tap I sent the words that had been trapped inside me for years. I stared at my phone in horror as I watched her name at the top of the screen. Before I could delete it, 3 dots appeared. Then they disappeared. My heart pounded so hard it felt like it would break through my chest. Less than 5 minutes later, someone knocked on my door. When I opened it, my best friend stood there with tears in her eyes. She looked at me for a long moment before whispering, "I know. I've always known. If you believe kindness can heal even the deepest wounds and that everyone deserves a second chance, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Kindness Space for more emotional stories that stay with you long after they end." For 7 years, Emma had been the one constant in my life. We met during our first week of college when we both reached for the same book in the library. From that awkward moment grew a friendship that survived exams, heartbreaks, job losses, family struggles, and every unexpected twist life threw at us. Everyone assumed we were just inseparable friends, and that was exactly what I wanted them to believe. The truth was much more complicated. Somewhere between late-night conversations, coffee runs, and quiet walks through empty streets, I had fallen deeply in love with her. I buried those feelings because I believed loving my best friend was the fastest way to lose her forever. Every day became a silent battle. I celebrated her successes while hiding my own heartbreak. I smiled when she talked about dates that never worked out, pretending I was simply being supportive. Every laugh we shared made me happier and sadder at the same time. I convinced myself that friendship was enough because having her in my life, even from a distance, felt better than losing her completely. Then life became even heavier. My father became seriously ill, work became overwhelming, and I started feeling like I was carrying the weight of the world alone. I stopped answering calls, canceled plans, and convinced everyone that I was simply busy. Emma noticed immediately. She kept checking on me, dropping off food outside my apartment, and sending short messages reminding me that I wasn't alone. I appreciated every single one of them, but guilt kept me silent. I felt broken, and broken people often believe they have nothing worth sharing. One sleepless night, after another exhausting visit to the hospital, I finally broke down. I opened my phone to send a message to my older brother, the only person who knew about my feelings. I typed everything I had hidden for years. I admitted that I loved Emma more than I had ever loved anyone. I confessed that pretending to be only her friend was slowly destroying me. I wrote that I would rather disappear from her life than make her uncomfortable with the truth. Without checking the contact name, I pressed send. The silence that followed was unbearable. When I realized my mistake, every ounce of color drained from my face. I stared at the screen, hoping somehow reality would change. It didn't. My secret was no longer mine. 5 minutes later came the knock. When I opened the door, Emma stood there soaked from the rain, breathing heavily as if she had run the entire way. She looked scared, not angry. There was sadness in her eyes, but there was something else too, relief. She stepped inside, looked around the quiet apartment, and finally looked back at me. Her expression held years of unspoken emotions. She gently told me that she had always known. She had noticed every nervous glance, every moment I pulled away whenever my feelings became too obvious, and every excuse I made whenever people joked that we looked perfect together. She admitted she never forced the conversation because she believed I wasn't ready. Her words shattered every assumption I had built over the years. I had spent so long believing I was hiding everything perfectly that I never imagined the person who knew me best had already seen through every wall I built.